A fresh-faced politician, an adorable statesman, an athletic world leader, a fashion icon, and a ladies' man. We get it. This man is the political equivalent of a Disney prince. But the kind of media attention his hair locks and chiseled jawline evoke leaves one wondering if the media is so smitten by his never-ending photo ops that they can't seem to objectively analyze his actions in office. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay and I'm here to talk to you about Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, a leader who's high on style, not so much on substance. Mr. Trudeau regularly breaks the internet with images of him cuddling pandas, hugging refugees, playing ice hockey and getting accidentally photographed in the wild with his shirt off not once but twice. Not a day goes by when Justin Trudeau does not feed the news cycle with a new shareable moment. Now do me a favor, do a Google News search for Trudeau and compare stories in the Canadian media with international articles that focus solely on his personality and looks. In fact, let me save you the effort. This is how most of the international media covers this leader. Reasons why the world is obsessed with Justin Trudeau. We need to talk about this picture of Justin Trudeau, the meaning of Justin Trudeau's tattoo, and this: let Justin Trudeau in his pajamas brighten your Monday. It's as if we are being forced to turn a blind eye to his policies by looking at his handsome smile and pajamas. So let me show you how the Canadian media covers their Prime Minister. Just some headlines from the past few months. Trudeau has failed the moral test of leadership. Trudeau drops into another pitfall of his own making. Trudeau's troubling climate evangelism and how the Trudeau government is failing the world's most vulnerable despite its feminist aid policy. The point I'm making is simple. There's less to this leader than meets the eye. His global image is largely the product of people's fascination with the novelty of his personal brand. But in reality, the gap between his words and actions is too big to cork. Let's take this one at a time. The Canadian Prime Minister likes to present himself as a climate hero. In a motto passed in 2019, his government called climate change a real and urgent crisis. Before the ink was even dry on this motion, Trudeau and his cabinet approved the highly controversial Trans Mountain Pipeline Extension, a crude oil extraction project that is estimated to release 130 million additional metric tons of carbon dioxide every year. 130 million metric tons. This is equivalent to putting 28 million new cars on the road, or opening up 33 new coal power stations. So much for being a climate hero. Trudeau also likes to position himself as a proud feminist. He says he has no tolerance for sexual harassment. In August 2000, a female reporter accused him of having groped her at a music festival. Trudeau apparently apologized. The controversy died down. In 2018, 3 years after he became the Prime Minister of Canada, it resurfaced. Trudeau was questioned about this incident and his apology, and this is what he had to say.
If I apologized later, then it would be because I sensed that she was not entirely comfortable with the interaction we had. I apologized in the moment. I certainly feel that again, I don't want to speak for her. I don't want to presume how she feels now.
We're not done with the apologies yet. Justin Trudeau likes to project himself as a champion of equality, but time and again his carefully cultivated image of the poster boy liberal has been called into serious question by pictures and images like these. This is the righteous Mr. Trudeau dressed up as Aladdin in a turban and robes and brown face makeup at a party in 2001. And this is again the virtuous Mr. Trudeau wearing black face makeup and an afro wig, apparently singing a Jamaican song. This one's from his school yearbook. What did Justin Trudeau have to say about these images? No prizes for guessing.
I didn't see that from the layers of privilege that I have. So even though we've moved forward in significant ways as a government, what I did, the choices I made, hurt people who thought I was an ally. I am an ally, but this is something that obviously I deeply regret and I never should have done.
If I had $1 for every time Justin Trudeau apologized, I'd be swimming in cash. This man is the quintessential Canadian. He just loves to say sorry. He also loves to play dress up. How many of you remember his visit to India? His fashion diplomacy made quite the headlines. While some said that his wardrobe choices were a bit too much, choices like these, a golden sherwani, he looked more Bollywood than Bollywood actors themselves. We don't dress up like this every day, Mr. Trudeau, not even in Bollywood. And this is not the end of our Trudeau story. The Canadian Prime Minister also loves to wade into the internal affairs of other countries. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about here. Justin Trudeau tried to lecture India on the farmer protests. He tried to play the spokesperson for the protesters. Did the farmers ask him to do this? No, they did not. Did he help their cause with his statements? No, he did not. Nonetheless, Trudeau has been going on and on about fundamental rights. He says he will always stand up for the right to peaceful protest.
Canada will always be there to defend the right of peaceful protest. We believe in the importance of dialogue, and that's why we've reached out through multiple means directly to the Indian authorities.
Has he upheld this right for his own citizens? Let me show you some images. These are from February this year. Canada witnessed its own share of protests and blockades. Rail crossings were shut, train schedules were disrupted, there was violence in some places. The Indigenous community in Canada was protesting against the gas pipeline project I just told you about. How did Trudeau's administration respond? It made the situation worse. It conducted raids. It carried out a series of arrests in British Columbia. What did Mr. Trudeau have to say about these protests?
Canadians have been patient. Our government has been patient. But it has been 2 weeks, and the barricades need to come down now.
When Canadian citizens protested, Trudeau asked them to respect the rule of law. When Indian farmers protested, Trudeau turned it into an issue of human rights. Aini would have shot itself and died 1,000 deaths. And just in case you still think that he's fighting for the farmers of India, then let me ask you a question. What exactly do these farmers want? They want legal provisions to ensure MSP, minimum support price. What has Canada done vis-a-vis these demands? For years, Canada has challenged this very MSP at the World Trade Organization. As recently as October 2020, Canada slammed the government of India for giving farm subsidies. In other words, Justin Trudeau, who claims to support India's farmers, has challenged the Indian government's farmer-friendly policies at the World Trade Organization. Then what explains his activism over the farmer protest? One word: politics. He tried to use India's farmer protests for his own selfish interests. He's catering to the sentiments of Canada's powerful Sikh community that has become a huge voting bloc. He is pleasing the 18 Sikh MPs in Canada, 4 of whom are part of his cabinet. So let me end with this. The pretty face the whole world loves is not the leader many believe he is. He may have a famous last name, good looks, and Canada's top job, but Justin Trudeau is a far cry from being a statesman.
Gravitas Plus, co-presented by Skoda. Simply clever.